Star Wars Theory on Twitter. Rolling Stones and NBC write hit pieces about me. I've had enough. Last time I speak on this BS. And he's talking about some of his projects like Vader 2 and the lightsaber store, which he's got a new lightsaber store up now, which is really, really cool. But the article, and this was the particular thing, he reposted this from Rolling Stone. His guest, meaning Star Wars Theory's guest, said women don't like Star Wars. He agreed and sparked an internet debate. I don't think there's much to debate there. We've said before, even on this show, I said, look, Star Wars is built predominantly, but not exclusively, for men. Yeah. But without the men, it doesn't survive. Period. I think we have enough evidence, in fact, at this point, thanks to Disney, that is the unmitigated truth.
I don't understand the controversy.
Admitted it in 2015.
I don't understand the controversy. I didn't think that either men nor women liked modern Star Wars. Are they delineating between that?
Yes. Yeah. I think actual Star Wars, popular streamer Star Wars Theory has brought back a familiar of internet discourse. All right. So this is the article here. So I want to kind of go through this because this is
it's behind a paywall, just so for the most part. At least
Is it? Okay. Oh, that's right. I thought, wait, you know what? I think I might have had it on Apple News, but let me bring this up. I'm going to look over there because I thought I had the full article. I might have just had
Monitor 13, Valiant Monitor 13.
But let's remind everybody real quick, and Ron and company, if you want to chime in while I go search for this on Apple News. Rolling Stone has a terrible history of reporting honestly. If ever there was the grandfather of clickbait and BS, it is the Rolling Stone magazine. So much so, and we can say that.
They make Esquire look good.
Yeah, we can say that with impunity because Rolling Stone magazine, for those of you who don't remember, was the magazine that was instrumental in launching the fruit, the grape, GRAPE culture. Subtract the G. They basically launched this what became, frankly, a myth because it was founded in a lie that college campuses were just giant, dangerous places and that women should be terrified of men. It started the Me Too movement, or was a huge factor in it. And
you don't think colleges are dangerous? Have you ever been to the gender studies departments? It's terrifying, man. Exactly. It's terrifying.
Let's remind everybody, November of 2016, Rolling Stone and journalist found guilty over false Virginia grape story. So in 2014, they wrote this hit piece. They trashed the University of Virginia, and a court found that, well, there were some problems with it.
And an individual.
Yes.
Too.
There's I went one too far. There's the fraternity. They settled with the fraternity for $1.65 million. And so Ron, what do you recall from this case? I don't know. Did you follow this one years ago? You got some thoughts on this one? Go ahead.
Well, Rolling Stone, this was one of two notorious Rolling Stone defamation settlements. The other one was the what was it? It was another.
Oh, you're talking about the Duke Lacrosse?
Yes, Duke Lacrosse, right.
Duke Lacrosse, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, that was another giant pile of nothing.
Destroyed people's lives in the short term.
Their present editor-in-chief is Noah Shachtman, whom I am suing on behalf of a journalist named Carson Griffith. Back from when he ran the Daily Beast.
Okay.
I mean, imagine being the Rolling Stone and saying, well, we've got a history of getting into these kind of problems, and then going to hire the editor of the Daily Beast to solve your problem.
There is something that's slightly hilarious about that. I don't know what.
They're not relevant. I mean, they're not relevant. Like all these media outlets, they are living on past glory, real or imagined. They're not really relevant in any meaningful.
Yeah, many
but
years
because
ago, it was a great magazine. It hadn't been for a long time, hadn't been for the last 10 years at least.
I've got deja vu from a Pixar conversation right now, guys.
Yeah, you think? Get rid of John
In
Lasseter.
name only.
Yes.
That's right.
Got it, exactly.
So let me pull this up. Let's go through this. Coach and Nick, I want to get your thoughts. John as well, Pro as well, Ron as well, everybody else. So this is the article itself. And this was on Apple News. That's why I just had it in a Google window instead. So
Hey, Walt,
this is the
my
new
best.
article. His guest said women don't like Star Wars. He agreed and sparked an internet debate. Star Wars Theory has brought back a
Publish this
familiar.
at 4 a.m. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
4 a.m. is
4
when it's published.
That's called being sweaty.
yeah. Depending on where they are. If they're in California, it was really 2 a.m. I have no idea. Nia D is the streamer behind Star Wars Theory, a channel dedicated to the George Lucas science fiction universe, over 3.3 million subs. But it also, here we go. Here's where typical Rolling Stone comes in. But it also draws viewers by courting controversy. I mean, Star Wars Theory is a lot of. When has he ever been a controversial figure? Does controversy videos? He talks about Star Wars, for God's sake. But this is the Rolling Stone. During a January episode on Theory Talks, his channel focused on critical theory. He hosted psychologist Sadia Khan. I should have had a Khan clip for that when I was watching Wrath of Khan last night, who derided Hollywood directors for, and this is great, she derided Hollywood directors for centering female stories within male-dominated fandoms. Quote from Sadia Khan, the guest on Star Wars Theory show, "Do we need more women in Star Wars? No, we don't," Khan said. And women, quote from her again, "don't even watch Star Wars. They don't even care about it. It's a man's little thing. Let them have it." Now, I disagree that no women, watch Star Wars, but in general, women don't watch Star Wars. Not by and large. It is a man's franchise. It's why Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012. It's why Disney bought Marvel in 2008, 2009. They wanted stuff for the boys. We don't see the Walt Disney Company trying to replace Disney princesses with men, do we?
No.
No, we don't.
Not yet.
They're not yet.
they're probably cooking something
It's
up.
going to be men in dresses at the Bippity Boppity Boutique. But no, but the point is that we're never going to see Disney up and decide, well, I have an idea. Let's take, when we do our live action remake of Princess and the Frog, let's make Tiana a redheaded Irishman. That'd be a great idea, right? Because we need to cater to that. No, that'd be stupid. Same thing here. It works both ways.
Think about it this way. It's sort of like if there was a company that made roofers supplies, the guys who go up on top of your buildings and put the shingles down and all that. And they said that 90% of their products now, their safety hoists and their 3-story ladders and all of that, the scaffolding, it's all going to be in bright fluorescent pink because they need to reach out to the women fans, the women who are roofers. I'm sure there's a couple of female roofers out in the world, but your business is going to tank because 90% of the roofers or more are men, and 90% of the people who care deeply about Star Wars used to be men. And chasing after the women is not going to go so well.
I really hope that the YouTube algorithm and AI is hearing you distinctly say women and roofers in the sentence and not women and the other one.
Roofers?
Yeah.
Roofers. I'll check. I will definitely work on my ability to compare and use symbolism in the future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This isn't the first time the Star Wars fandom has dealt with disagreements surrounding racism and sexism within their own ranks. Here's the thing.
Wait.
Was this written by AI?
Here?
What's that?
Was this written by AI? I mean, this is such a predictable. Exactly. What
AI
this
does
article
better.
is.
Where's the racism? What did she say that had anything to do with racism?
I have no idea.
Decided to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Surrounding racism and sexism within their own ranks. My fundamental disagreement with that statement, gentlemen. Tell me what you think on this. I disagree with the within their own ranks. I think there's Star Wars fans, and then there's everybody else out there that's just trying to lever Star Wars to suit their TikTok fad or their personal political crusade. And a lot of them happen to work at Disney. I think the people that were actually grew up as Star Wars fans, I don't think there was really much of any disagreement here. They just didn't like these films, and they didn't watch the Disney Plus shows. It seems to be pretty unified to me. So
I think Gina Carano exposed where most of this is coming from. It's coming from the Walt Disney Company. We've seen that with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think we saw it with Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, they talked about that next.
Ryan Johnson was using it. This is what they use to hide behind their failures.
Yep.
And I would not be surprised if the call went out for articles such as this to be written at this time. Isn't it fascinating that as the Rey movie goes into this giant controversy and you've got all these statements coming out, and Jon Favreau is now the choice of Disney in the year 2024 to shape Star Wars, isn't it interesting that the pro-Kathleen Kennedy, venomous, vapid, low IQ articles start falling from the tree again?
Yep. Well, it all seems like planned, right? It's PR. But I mean, they talk about Kelly Marie Tran, and they talk about how she received sexist and racist harassment from fans. I think she posted a couple.
That's been debunked.
Yeah, that was too. Then they talk about John Boyega, and they say John Boyega was harassed by fans. He wasn't. He was harassed by the media.
I thought we all felt he had been done dirty.
He was harassed by Ryan Johnson, who turned him into a joke in the second movie.
That's where he was harassed from, by Disney.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of trolls that created a campaign in the very beginning before the first film even came out, but everyone was like, this is stupid.
And there's still no proof or evidence for this Kelly Marie Tran stuff. Nobody's ever seen any receipts of anybody saying anything to her.
Yeah.
They took a previous Instagram post that she did like years before the movie came out, and they turned it into Star Wars fans passing off. Like Ichibaka over at Disney Star Wars is Dumb, when that site was still running, did an absolutely fantastic breakdown, destroying the whole media narrative surrounding that.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, they talk about Moses Ingram. And again, another completely unsubstantiated rumor, in the sense that she was so inundated, this from the article, she was so inundated with derogatory direct messages that both her fellow castmates and Disney made statements. I think she posted pictures of like 1 or 2 DMs that she got.
Does she have open DMs?
Or
and about but they have no idea who the people were. Again, it could have been bots. It could have been a PR firm. There was no evidence anywhere. It was set up basically to create a controversy as the show was coming out, to try to solicit more support. Yep. So Rolling Stone here is just rolling with the same junk that has been debunked over and over and over again, but it's got to fit a narrative, just like the UVA story, whether it's a lie or not. Doesn't matter.
But just think about this. Everybody, put on your IQ cap for a moment, and let's analyze this as if we're real people and this is a real person writing it. Do normal celebrities in charge of major roles in big franchises, do they have open DMs? Is that normal? That you can just message people? Can I go message the lead actors in Marvel and ask them about their upcoming films? I didn't know that was a possibility.
Maybe some of them do that, but in any case, let's see. Because we got, I think this last paragraph here. While Nia didn't acknowledge the statement during his conversation with Khan, much of the online criticism has centered around his strong and sometimes negative opinions surrounding women characters in the science fiction series and fan spaces. His negative opinions of the characters, which, let's be honest, I think just about all characters. They're terrible characters. They're poorly
what are his
written.
negative opinions, though? They don't even show the evidence, so they just want you to believe their narrative that they've already spun around him, so you can't actually see what it is. And this is exactly what these people do, and it's sick and disgusting.
Watch this. This is how easy it is to debunk it. Here's a fantastic female character in a sci-fi series or major franchise. Gamora. Done.
Right. Beloved character.
There are great female characters. And guess what? Star Wars fans are probably also Marvel fans. Yes. There's probably incredible overlap to the tune of like 90%. So what they're really mad about is society.
Yeah.
And that goes back to why the Daisy Ridley film might get scrapped because the Marvels film didn't even break $200 million.
Exactly. And yet we like Iman Vellani. She seems fun. She's nice.
Yeah. But I mean, you look at this, thousands of fans spoke out against Star Wars Theory, accusing him of promoting and platforming sexist and misogynistic views. And again,
a woman.
I would seriously question the veracity of these comments that were they botted? We've seen that too many times.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen things like that? And then, on TikTok, women began posting clips of themselves. Oh, you mean like they do every 5 minutes? Like this is something
new? Women don't use TikTok. You sexist. Women don't use TikTok.
Men don't use TikTok. That's for sure. It's much more of a woman's platform. On TikTok, women began posting clips of themselves enjoying or participating in Star Wars culture with hashtag women in Star Wars. That was probably totally engineered by Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And Carrie Beck and Kathleen Kennedy. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
I think what Nick said a little bit earlier, I don't know if you heard it, but he was basically like, they're attacking him for having a woman on his show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the whole gist of it, right?
And not only that, but this was on his Theory Talks channel, which has less than 20,000 subs. This isn't on the main Star Wars Theory channel with 3.3 million, subscribers on it.
Yeah.
So,
look at the stat they pull up. Videos using the hashtag of hashtag women in Star Wars have over 4.1 million views. Now, you're telling me that was organic?
3.5 million are Leia in a bikini.
In that short a time?
Hashtag.
Like in a day? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember.
They don't tell you. They don't tell you. They don't tell you what their metric is for time, right? That hashtag women in Star Wars has probably been around for years.
Yeah. And look, women in Star Wars, that's awesome. There's lots of female content creators with Star Wars channels out there. Welcome aboard. Nobody's trying to push them out. But this idea, again, that this is somehow, it's racist or sexist or whatever to say that women in general don't like Star Wars. It's true.
I'll push them out if they're pushing feminism.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're not pushing if you're trying to use Star Wars as a cudgel for your political activism, that's what nobody wants. But guys, Coach, what do you think of this?
This really has nothing to do with Star Wars.
Yeah.
This is about outrage culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that it is. They twist what was said. That you cannot take what was said by a guest on his show and say that he is sexist or misogynist in any way based on what he just said. She didn't say that. She did not say that no women like Star Wars. She was speaking in generalities. That's all that she was doing. So this is people. They need it to mean that, and this is the same side of the fandom that attacks the other side of the fandom that I happen to be on, that you guys are pretty much on. They attack us for being bigots, incels, racist, misogynist, attacking people, hate, toxic. We're not doing that at all. Any of those things. It's all coming from that side. Our side pretty much takes the company to task. They hate people. Star Wars Theory did nothing wrong, nor did his female guest. Star Wars is generally followed by more males. It is what it is. I like the whole Jordan Peterson thing. These people aren't upset because 50% of bricklayers aren't women.
Right?
So this isn't about Star Wars at all. This is outrage, ideological cancel culture on the move, and not only are the women sharing their TikTok videos and articles are being written. Chris Gore got attacked for making a tweet because he tweeted about how Disney Star Wars is pushing this feminist centric agenda. These are the type of fans that Disney panders to.
Yes.
This is who they make Star Wars for. You know, so it's none of it is a surprise.
Coach, how big is that demographic though, compared to what was the Star Wars fan base?
Well, so look, you can make the case. I mean, there is no doubt about it. Okay, that the percentage of female fans has probably increased with Star Wars. One, because they've really pushed, you know, female characters, which is fine. I got no problem with that. That's not a problem with me. I'm an old school feminist, like back in the originality of the word. You know, equal opportunity.
Sure,
I'm all about that. But the demographic that you speak of, Pro, more and more Star Wars fans are leaving.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously,
and they believe in equal outcome now.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's a big, huge difference in equality and fairness. Those two words are not the same thing. They are very different, but those people want them to be the same thing. There's a podcaster, a Star Wars podcaster and content creator. I'm not going to say who it is. He says Chris Gore and Star Wars Theory are in a race to be the biggest sexist asshole on Twitter.
How do I get involved?
I'm telling you guys, I think...
How am I not there? Come on. I'm not doing enough there. I need to get on that list.
John's pulling ahead tomorrow with an article. Just get ready, folks.
You know what the bottom line is for me is that it's like we talked about before. The problem is that Star Wars existed for 30 years plus, 35 years or so before Disney bought them. There was a very robust fan base that was still spending a ton of money each and every year with no movies for a span, you know, the first span of almost 17 years or whatever it was, another span of maybe 15 years where there were no movies. People were still buying the merch. The fan base existed. Then people came in that weren't part of the Star Wars fandom and then decided, hey, we can utilize this to change it and make it for us or make it for other people. They weren't fans. They didn't like Star Wars. How do we know this? Because there's a certain individual that even said that Star Wars was really never one of her favorites. More interested in other Lucasfilm franchises, but, you know, Star Wars was just there. It's the bitch running it.
No.
Okay? So, I mean, you want to tell me that, well, you know...
Now you're trying to pull ahead of John with that statement. I know what you're up to. You're not going to do it that way.
Women don't want to, you know, women don't watch Star Wars. Women don't like Star Wars. The chick running it was one of them. That's a fact. She said it herself. Star Wars was never, you know, that was never her thing. She much preferred Indiana Jones and the other stuff which is fine. That's okay. But this idea that it's offensive or a myth to say that women don't watch Star Wars, the president of Lucasfilm was the chief of that.
All I can tell you is if we are going to be featured in a future Rolling Stone article, I want to be on the record. I don't believe that Kathleen Kennedy wears deodorant.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.